Hi, everyone. I'm Rolling Redneck.
I'm Sphincter Envy.
And you're listening to
We Roll With It. So today, we're going to talk about politics, because I thought with the upcoming inauguration, that it would be a good topic to speak on.
And also get some extra views.
Well, I guess so. I guess that's our goal these days.
And you gotta have goals.
Hashtag quad goals. Well, I guess wheelchair goals. I don't know.
Trip goals? I don't know.
GIMP goals. That's fabulous. Yes. I love that. GIMP goals. Gotta have GIMP goals. All right. Anyway, so would you like to start?
Well, before we get started,
Okay.
I want to acknowledge that we've had a bit of an audio editing situation that has now been resolved.
Yeah.
With a new editor. His name is, it's his online screen name, Killstring. I don't know if he wants us to give his full name out here, but he runs a business called Deadstring Press, and he does video tutorials for various software like DaVinci, Reaper. From what I gather, basically any software you can think of.
It's good with computers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Especially with audio editing, as far as that's what I've seen so far. I'm sure he's great with other stuff too. Rolling Redneck can vouch for that.
Yeah, and his DaVinci tutorial is very helpful for me.
And I'm sure you guys could tell with the last episode that it was leaps and bounds from where it was.
But we're not re-recording the first two episodes. We're going to leave them there for posterity.
Not yet, anyways. Maybe for Patreon listeners further down the road or something.
Yeah. It's always nice to show people where we came from.
It's true. But I think they were two of our best. Kind of hate we wasted them. Anyways, so yay to better audio, always improving.
And we're also going to do another disclaimer. We're not going to tell anybody how they vote or how they should have voted or how they, should vote. This is just an analysis of how both parties are screwed up when it comes to disability politics. Make your own conclusions.
That's how we're playing it.
Mostly because I don't want people burning stuff in front of my house.
No, it's probably a smart decision, I know. I figured you kind of go that way.
Yeah. Now, some party wants to pay me for an open sponsorship. We'll see. But for now, this is an analysis of how both parties are screwed up.
Yeah.
So, ladies first.
Well, I thought it would definitely be worth our while to shed some light on where we came from and what we're at stake to lose, if you would, just in general. Because the upcoming administration is making claims of dismantling our whole world again. I wanted to talk about Social Security, and I learned a new word today: vicissitude. Yeah, President Franklin D. Roosevelt taught me that, because he said in a speech when he signed the Social Security bill into law on August 14th, 1935, only 14 months after sending a special message to Congress, promised a plan for social insurance as a safeguard. Because that was right after I can't think of the word now, the Great Depression. And he said, against the hazards and vicissitudes of life. And the 32-page act was a culmination of work began by the Committee on Economic Security, aka CES, created by the president on June 29th, 1934. And he said at the signing ceremony, a cornerstone in a structure which is being built, but is by no means complete. And I think that's very important. And, every year they look back and check out the federal poverty level, or FPI, or FPL, excuse me, and make sure that, our standards are, okay, I'll try not to laugh, are being met, and that we are being represented, most likely probably due to the ADA, that our checks are just as high as they need to be. So, yeah. So, and I think that, that's what I got on Social Security. And every year, or every few years, among many administrations, there have been alterations to Social Security, but mostly alterations to Medicaid. And that's another thing I want to talk about, but what were you going to say?
Oh, I'm about to go off.
Okay, go ahead. Go off, girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, Democrats think the job was done, or rather, a lot of Democrats, particularly the elected ones, they think the job was done with the American Disabilities Act and special education, as well as, Medicaid and Social Security. Thing is, the ADA, even though I will defend it, is kind of impractical. Because, to enforce it, it's not like other laws where the state will come and enforce it, or the feds will come to enforce it. To get the ADA enforced, disabled people, or rather, a nonprofit representing them, depending on, the circumstance, they have to get a lawyer. Now, how many disabled people do you know that can afford a lawyer?
Yeah, really. I don't know of any.
My mom thinks I should have become a lawyer. Maybe she was right.
I thought about it too, actually, when I was in high school. I think I was right, and I'm wrong now.
Yeah.
That or a doctor, because they make a lot of money, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey, if you got money for 4 more years of law school, be my guest, because I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, with special education, this will lead over into the education episode that we will eventually do.
Yeah.
I might have, us use this as a clip for YouTube when we do the episode. There are a lot of teachers that treat IEPs and such as kind of optional. It's been my experience that teachers and some administrators will sometimes try to duck the IEP or say that accommodations for disabled students are unfair to the abled students, and it becomes a whole mess. And more on that further down the episode.
Absolutely.
And Medicaid is often really half-assed once you turn 21.
Yeah, I didn't really know that. Wish someone had told me. But yes, it's true.
Yeah. It's like,
Things they don't want you to know. But yeah.
go on.
No, I was saying that's some things they don't want you to know.
But then there is the Republican Party, and they are often unrealistic. Like, they think every disabled person can be a super crip that can run their own business if they're being discriminated against, trying to apply for regular jobs,
Yeah.
or pretending that job discrimination doesn't exist. I can't drive, so it's really difficult for me to hold a 9 to 5 because the paratransit around here stops at 2 p.m. And that's not really an accommodation that your average
Yeah. It's
job can or will do.
it's like when my partner's my main caregiver, how's he supposed to get a job when we have somebody call out at the drop of a hat? And it happens pretty often. They're going to be sick of it by the second or third time it happens. That he's not going to be able to keep a job. It's like, oh, well, that disabled person doesn't deserve it. Or her caregiver doesn't deserve to have a job or a second income. And they don't deserve more nursing hours because of it.
Yeah.
And our hours weren't cut until 2018. My hours, Sean and I have been living together since 2008. Wonder what happened. Something dramatic in 2016, maybe.
More like 2010, probably.
No, 2016.
Yeah.
There was an election.
Yeah. But the whole thing started with the Tea Party back in 2010, so
Gotcha.
I draw it from there.
But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my gripe.
Yeah. And a lot of people on the right, I think some of them are relatively sane, but they keep saying, there are alternatives like churches and charities and GoFundMe. Like,
Yeah.
those don't work. I know. I used to be a libertarian, and I tried a lot of those before my mom said, just bite the bullet and just apply for Medicaid.
Yeah.
And she's Christian conservative, so that had to take some things. Because GoFundMe doesn't work unless you're like super well known. You have
Yeah.
people on the news, or you are in every charitable event in your city ever. But if you're average, internet fundraising is kind of
That's what
useless. And most churches are either treading water or they're spending money buying luxury crap for preachers like jet planes. And let's say, we got rid of Medicaid. Church is going to close down because they can't handle all that stuff.
No.
And there's even this church in Texas that's being sued right now because they're trying to do the, church, the bunch of stuff for the mentally disabled, homeless people, but they have no idea what they're doing, and it's becoming a major problem for the community. And god damn, I do not want to have to defend Ken Paxton, but here I am. And charities, as we discussed a whole episode ago, are often more focused on awareness, and the ones that actually do day-to-day things, they have help from HUD and stuff. So, yeah. So my analogy is that disabled people have two choices. Homer Simpson, who attempts to do what the right thing is after screwing up a lot, and Peter Griffin, who is an abusive, sociopathic asshole.
I have to say, it took me a second read to understand that, but I loved it so much once I got it. I was like, oh, he's comparing Democrats to Republicans. And that made me really happy. I was like, you know what? I've never thought about it. was like, yeah, I guess Homer is the dumb, ignorant one in this.
Yeah, but he at least
Yeah.
attempts eventually. Yeah, I never. It's like in all the Family Guy I've ever seen, Peter Griffin's just an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Peter
he
Griffin knows what he's
doesn't know
doing.
he's doing it. Yeah. I gathered you'd say that by the sociopath diagnosis.
You know what'd be funny? If Seth MacFarlane and Matt Groening saw this podcast.
Or heard it, rather.
Heard, saw, clicked, whatever.
I know. Couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Never gonna happen.
Oh, I've
Well,
seen
I
weirder
would
stuff
say,
happen.
yeah, no, I was gonna say I would say never.
I mean, I've
Yeah,
I've met a guy from Agents of Shield, Clark Gregg,
yeah.
at a
Did you meet him at a
fundraiser.
con? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So who knows? I have to wonder. It's
Gift
like who?
goals.
Yeah, it's like who is this lunatic? Okay, I'll just humor him.
Yeah.
All right, back
Gift
to whatever the hell it
goals.
was we were talking about. Do you have anything more to add?
Yeah, I'd like to speak on Medicare and Medicaid a little bit.
Okay, go off.
It's more about when it was enacted. It was July 30th, 1965. And I did not know this, but President Lyndon B. Johnson signed it into law. And I thought it was Roosevelt as well, but no, it was not. It was some 30 years later. Yeah. And led to the Medicare. I put the in front of Medicare when I wrote Medicare and Medicaid. It included Part A for Medicare and Part B for Medicare. And Part A was hospital insurance, and Part B was medical insurance. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was getting got rolling when Kennedy was running for office because he and RFK Sr. were going around various poverty-stricken areas across places like Appalachia, trying to figure out what the problems were.
Oh, wow. And it was mostly for elderly and low-income families. And, elderly and disabled, and it has expanded over the years to low-income families, pregnant women, people of all ages with disabilities, and people who need long-term care. So there we are, right there. And that last two. Well, 3 of those, I think. But yeah, I can't imagine what that must have been like.
Yeah. And it still needs work.
Absolutely. I mean, shit, people with just no jobs.
Yeah. And Medicaid and Medicare still prioritize nursing homes over helping people live in their own communities. But that is a future topic when I go to DC for a recording with one of my friends.
Hell, maybe when we go to DC, we can rent out a place and do a live recording or something.
Oh, I already have an idea for that in mind. Because
we'll speak on it.
Yeah. The other problem we have, going back
Yeah,
to our thingy, uh, is that the disability community is often rather divided.
it's true. Yeah,
A lot of them are rather right wing because they've had some really bad experiences with the government.
yeah,
I know when at my misspent youth, I had a libertarian phase because in middle school, the principal treated my IEP as optional when it came down to the rolling redneck
yeah,
knees and adaptive gym class. That got disregarded.
yeah.
But again, we'll go back to that in the education episode.
I definitely know about that.
And there are a lot of special needs parents I know who are just not on board with progressive disability policy because trying to get the school teachers to follow the IEP is a
Yeah,
nice circle of
and so
hell.
they don't enforce it. It's like, are you gonna advocate for your fucking child? One of my
Yeah.
nurses is a great advocate for her child. It may be to her detriment, her job's detriment, but she's gonna do what she needs to do. And also, I've
Yeah.
noticed that if anyone grows up in some type of, not necessarily some type of church, Christian church, some type of Christianity, unfortunately, they tend to be fairly straight laced and right wing and not weird at all. And it's very unfortunate because if you're in a wheelchair, you need some other way to have fun besides eating and watching movies. You need to be able to talk shit with other people.
And at least get some good movies.
Yeah, really.
Because anyway, we'll put that in the religion file. We're going to get really sad.
Yeah.
We're going to get letters.
That's okay. We can deal with some letters.
Yeah. But yeah, it becomes really hard because you get all these teachers who have all these progressive signs, like, oh, we're pro LGBT, we're pro this and pro that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the IEP meeting, they turn to Rush goddamn Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Or Andrew Tate or whatever other right wing personality you can think of. So there's a lot of mistrust here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think the real big problem, not just with disability in politics, but politics in general, is that both parties want contradictory things, even from their own
Yeah.
platforms. I know a lot of right wing special needs parents, disabled people who want small government, but also want the government to do things for them when they needed to. Like, I saw a lot of people get mad about the train chemical spill in Ohio.
Yeah.
It's like you wanted deregulation, and well, that's
That is
deregulation for you.
deregulation. The definition of deregulation. Yeah.
But the left is not immune to this either. And I really want to stress that point because I know a lot of my fellow leftists like to say, oh, we're so smart, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Because I know people who say they want denser cities, more public transit. But when it comes time to enforce the law on that public transit, when some hooligans are starting fights or jumping the turnstiles or whatever,
Or driving into people.
yeah, they get all mad when the police get involved. Like, well, yeah, the police are supposed to get involved. Stop breaking the law.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people are like, oh,
This dude mowed down.
yeah. I know some people are like, oh, well, the poor people are too poor to afford transit fare. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm broke too, but I can still afford the fare for paratransit.
Yeah, really.
So everyone else should be able to too.
I can afford it. Yep. I think they raised it this year. $2 each way.
Yeah.
For
Also, our paratransits are very unfortunately named
it's
sometimes.
not named anymore, but they suck, so I still call them bus. And it's not the drivers, it's the schedulers. They don't do them
Yeah.
any favors. Oh, and I heard that Trump is getting sentenced on January 10th. Should be interesting, especially since they,
It'll be a fine that means nothing to him,
yeah,
and his followers probably paid for him anyway. Whatever.
yeah, they said he's not going to get time. Check, you decided that already, then what the fuck? What are you sentencing him for? So he can owe you a lot of money? He doesn't care.
Note to the next Democratic administration: don't appoint a Republican to be your Attorney General.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably should have made this disclaimer at the top of the episode.
Yeah.
But I am a Democrat, and I am affiliated with my county party. So yeah, if you're a Republican, you're offended, get your own podcast or something like that.
Yeah, I say that on my OnlyFans. I'm like, you don't like it, get the fuck off. Sorry. And they do. It's like, okay, that's where you draw the line. Okay.
Yeah. I think the real problem around America's disability policy is that it's designed around able people and
Yeah.
their feelings.
Yeah, they care too much about what able people feel, think, want to pay for. You know, if a disabled person had to sign off on it, there wouldn't be an issue. Or at least they would
Yeah.
question it out of actually like be concerned for the budget. And then the second time, they're like, okay, well, I got it down to a few $100 less. Now, can we do it? Yes, you can. Jeez. Man.
Yeah. I think it's more that a lot of people are stuck in the fourth grade mindset when it comes to disability.
Yeah.
Because if the disabled people get a nice thing, without a lot of crazy drawbacks, like a $2,000 income cap, abled people will throw a bitch fit.
Yep. Oh.
Sorry for all my family members who will be listening to it, but it's true and
Oh,
you know
why
it.
don't I get one too?
Yeah.
Woe is me.
Yeah. My classmates couldn't handle it when I, got an alternative to a big classroom poster. I got to do an essay instead. And guess what? They wouldn't be able to handle it if I got Medicaid without having to, only earn less than $2,000. Our disability policy is designed around sparing those people's feelings, and that's the first thing that's got to change.
Yeah. And how do we do that?
Well, for starters, a lot of disabled people need to put their, personal beefs with each other aside, because I have been with disability organizations for a while now, and there is some drama.
Yeah.
Some of it justified, a lot of it not. But the thing is, as someone who is in a disability organization that, has gone to DC to advocate, we all need to swallow our, pride, put some things aside. A lot of it has been building since the 90s.
I'm guilty of it. I don't associate with one of my disabled friends because she's a Republican. She gets Medicare and she's against all kinds of shit. And then when police brutality was happening, I posted a.
And it still is happening. Let's not forget it.
Oh, well, that's true. Yes, it's just not as heard of these days, which just means people aren't making it as big of a deal. Unfortunately, should be a big deal.
Yeah.
And I quit talking to her because I posted a meme making fun of that shit. It was like, how can you tell Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus are the same person? Something about the police. They're never in the same spot at the same time. Yeah.
Well, I think I saw that one.
And she got so mad. It's like, you don't work for the police. Shut up. You're not a cop. And it was just a fucking joke. And then I found out that she didn't think Black single moms should be able to have Medicaid or their kids. And I was like, what, you don't want to pay for little babies' surgeries and shit? Like, okay.
And that actually brings me to a different point. There is a racism element in our disability policy.
Mm-hmm.
Because disability programs apply to people of all races, people are more inclined to attack them or want, more restrictions.
Yeah, I can imagine, because I have been discriminated against as a person with a disability. But I cannot imagine being any other color than white with a disability, because it's 10 times worse. It's disgusting.
Yeah, people get really crazy about people of other races getting a, government benefit.
Yeah.
But when it's them getting a benefit or one of their family getting a benefit, they're like, oh, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
And that is honestly one of the things that actually got me to switch parties, because I kept finding myself saying, oh, that's different for me to receive Medicaid or SSI or, whatever. Like I was always saying, oh, that's different. Like,
yeah.
Okay, it's starting not to be different anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like I'm a big hypocritical fucking asshole.
So was it obviously other disabled people, right? Saying it?
I think one of my...
or just other people talking about?
Well, one of my friends called me out, for saying it was different for me to receive this and this and this, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I had some things to chew on, some things to mull over.
Yeah.
And I needed to be called out on it because I was an asshole.
Trust me, it happens. I know. I've said some things.
But yeah, I think disabled people, regardless of party, should get involved in their political party. Who knows, maybe if more disabled people got involved in the Republican Party, they might have saner disability policies.
Yeah. Slightly,
hopefully. I think we have to deal with the how to get involved in politics as a disabled person in a future episode, because this episode is running long as it is. Yeah. All right, like and subscribe. I gotta take meds. Thanks for tuning in. Have a nice day, everybody. I think next episode will be a fun episode. Yeah. What do you think, Sphincter Envy? Well, it's part 2 of this, right? But after part 2. I was going to do a fun episode, and then
Oh, okay, gotcha.
we should do a fun episode, and then, come back to this.
Yeah.
If that's all right with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds great. I don't know. You said one earlier that I thought of, or that would be good. Education, but that might be more popping off. So, how about pets?
All right. We'll do pets next episode.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And all the times my old cat tried to fucking kill me.
And I'll have some pictures to put on Patreon.
Have a nice day, everybody. Like and subscribe to this nonsense. And feel free to donate to the Patreon.
You said it too, the Patreon.
Well, there's a lot of Patreons. There's a Patreon for the people I subscribe to, and Patreon for the people you subscribe to. There's just a lot of Patreons. So, okay, that's fine. Say our Patreon, not the Patreon.
I was getting there, but you got there first.
Yeah.
All right. This is fun.
Credit for music goes to Alex Productions. You can find them on YouTube. We'll put a link in the description. Have a nice day, everybody.
Good night.